Welcome everybody to our virtual St. Patrick's Day celebration brought to you from the iconic Peninsula Hotel in Hong Kong. Our St. Patrick's Festival in Ireland invites the world to reconnect in Dublin in a global celebration of Irish arts, culture and heritage. In Ireland, the successful deployment of vaccines recently saw the National Public Health Emergency Team being stood down as our country returns to a post-pandemic normality. So Festival 2022 will be a landmark celebration, the largest in scale and ambition to date. A moment for the nation and for our diaspora of 80 million across the world to connect and reflect, celebrate and welcome. It's a fitting celebration for a year in which we mark 100 years of Irish independence, 50 years since Ireland's accession to the European Union, and 2022 also marks 100 years since the publication of James Joyce's masterpiece, Ulysses. But more of that later. While this is the third year in which pandemic has impacted our ability to organise in-person community events in Hong Kong and Macau, this is the least of our concern today. On our National Day, let me emphatically state that our overwhelming empathy is for the people of Hong Kong who have been experiencing extraordinary pain and suffering during a devastating wave of the pandemic in recent weeks. To the Hong Kong people, let me say, you are not alone. The people of Ireland and indeed our European neighbours have walked in your footsteps over the past 2 years. Our family members, neighbours and friends became ill. Tragically, some died. Many of the bereaved couldn't attend funerals, and our community members in this part of the world were unable to travel home to say their final goodbyes to their loved ones. My overriding National Day message to the Irish community, and most especially to our Hong Kong friends watching, is that Ireland feels your frustration. We feel your anger, and most of all, we feel your pain. This week, Irish government ministers have returned to travelling across the globe to represent and promote Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. Our global St. Patrick's Day programme involves 33 high-level visits to 40 countries or overseas regions. These visits will, of course, take place in line with local COVID-19 public health guidelines. We do not have an Irish government minister in Hong Kong, in Macau, nor in mainland China this week. However, I am particularly delighted to be joined virtually by An Taoiseach, the Prime Minister of Ireland, Micheál Martin, who among his many commitments this week travels to Washington DC to resume our long-established tradition of presenting a bowl of shamrock to the President of the United States of America on St. Patrick's Day. An Taoiseach, please.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Hong Kong. Thank you, David. We are very conscious that the pandemic has seriously impacted Hong Kong in recent weeks. I want to extend my personal best wishes and express our solidarity of the Irish people to the people of Hong Kong at this difficult time. Benachtaí na féile pádraig oribh go léir. Tá áthas orm a bheith caintlibh inmh thar ceann bhuainte na hÉirden, agus an tríúlá le pádraig a chalóra a going ó thosaigh pandéim COVID-19. Inmh tá dóchas oring go bhfuil deireadh na pandéime ag braca ír na spíre. Gáid ina féidirló tá ar muinter ag ach cheangel leis an bobal má gúird, ar bobal ag ach cheangel le na chéile, agus éire ag ach cheangel leis an domhan. A very happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. I'm delighted to be able to speak to you today on behalf of Ireland as we mark our third St. Patrick's Day since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, and as we can begin to hope to see the end to the pandemic on the horizon. Where it is now possible, our people are reconnecting with our communities. Our communities are reconnecting with each other, and Ireland is reconnecting with the world. We're beginning to reopen again, to welcome our friends and family home, to foster renewed opportunities to connect through the arts, through education and through business, to seek new ideas and to inspire innovation. We can see our way out of this crisis, but much remains to be done before we can say that the pandemic is over. I would like to take a moment to pay a special tribute to Irish people across the world, to you, our diaspora. Ireland is immensely proud of how our people at home and abroad have responded to the crisis, with humanity selflessness, and generosity. Our healthcare workers, our aid workers, and our peacekeepers all continue to represent our country with distinction. And there are so many examples of where our diaspora reached out the hand of friendship and of care for the more vulnerable members of our community during really difficult times. For that, I thank you. In challenging times, we turn also to our writers, artists, and musicians to find, through them, an expression of our innermost thoughts and wishes, of our shared yet individual experiences. Over the past 2 years, the richness of Irish artistic output has kept alive a flame of hope, a welcome reminder of human potential when we felt most powerless. Ireland salutes you and thanks you all on this St. Patrick's Day. While today is very much an Irish holiday, our history proves that we are stronger when we are supported by our friends, when we work together. The pandemic has underlined the importance of continued collaboration and cooperation with our European and international partners. Ireland is a strong proponent of multilateralism. Our time on the UN Security Council has allowed us to promote our values and principles on the most significant of world stages. We're also proud members of the European Union, a community that has been our home for almost 50 years. Our European Union membership has added new, rich layers of identity, of belonging, and of solidarity. This will continue as we work together with our European partners to recover from the pandemic, as we rise together to the challenges of climate change, and as we work in unity to protect and restore international law and the principles of the UN Charter, promoting security and stability in our European neighbourhood. Our celebrations this year are tempered by the reminder that democracy and the rule of law can never be taken for granted. And so, this year especially, let St. Patrick's Day be a moment to express our values of human fellowship, empathy, and solidarity. Ní nart go chur le chéile. There is strength in unity, a sentiment that has a special resonance at this time. We stand together with Ukraine and with the international community of democratic nations. Céad Míle.
Thank you, Taoiseach. It's regretful that circumstances do not allow us to have an Irish government minister in Hong Kong to mark 100 years of Irish independence. Nevertheless, we hope that Hong Kong can quickly move to a post-pandemic normality and that we are able to welcome an Irish government minister in person in 2023. In the meantime, I extend our best wishes to you and your cabinet colleagues for a successful programme of events and visits to mark St. Patrick's Day this week. And now for our first cultural performance, which comes to us from Lissadell House in the west of Ireland. Lissadell was the home of Countess Markievicz, who was an Irish politician, revolutionary, suffragist, and the first woman elected to Westminster Parliament. After independence, she was appointed Minister for Labour in Ireland's first Parliament, becoming the first female cabinet minister in Europe. Countess Markievicz was a leading figure in the fight for Irish independence, and 100 years on, we chose this piece of music to remember her and remember the many women and men that shaped revolution in Ireland. What better way to do that than with the music of Ireland's national emblem, the harp, in the home of one of our great revolutionary leaders. Tokyo Olympics was one of the standout moments of the past year. Ireland's rowers and boxers took home 4 Olympic medals between them. Coincidentally, Hong Kong also had 4 medalists in their most successful Olympic Games ever. Our community celebrated the Irish and Hong Kong achievements in equal measure. For the Irish in Hong Kong, a first amongst equals was double silver medal performance of Siobhan Haughey. Siobhan is the daughter of Darach and Kanjo, an Irish father and Hong Kong mother. So on this special day, when we celebrate the Irish in Hong Kong story, there could be no better person to join us than world champion and double Olympic medalist Siobhan Haughey.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Haughey, Hosi Pui, a Hong Kong Olympic swimmer. Some of you might know that I am of Irish and Hong Kong heritage. My father is Irish and my mother is from Hong Kong. Born and raised in the city, I loved growing up in Hong Kong because of its unique culture, mindset, and history. Although I enjoy spending my time in Hong Kong, I also love the fact that I was able to visit and spend many memorable holidays in Ireland, meeting relatives and other friends, and enjoying the long days of summer and the great atmosphere at Christmas. I would like to take this opportunity to thank people for the enormous level of support shown to Hong Kong athletes, including me, during the Olympics. It was great to see people come together to cheer and support the local athletes during Hong Kong's best Olympics ever. It was truly inspiring to see the unifying power of sports, especially during a time when our society needed a boost after all the stresses of recent events. So to Irish people and friends of Ireland, I would like to wish everyone a happy St. Patrick's Day. I wish everyone enjoys the celebration, and I wish you all a healthy and peaceful year of Tiger.
Thank you, Siobhan. While the pandemic has had devastating impact in terms of serious illness and loss of life, there have been other serious consequences, not least the developmental impact on our children. Siobhan will be the first to credit her swimming success to her mum and dad, who undertook the daily trips with Siobhan to the South China Athletic Association for early morning swim practice. These are among some of the facilities, along with schools, that have seen enforced closures for more than 2 years. In choosing our next cultural performance, the joy and creativity of children spoke to us. For the sake of our children, we look forward to a swift return to a post-pandemic normality. Another highlight of the past 12 months was our collaboration with the wonderful Sereni to celebrate Bloomsday in Hong Kong. 2022 marks 100 years since the publication of Ulysses, voted the finest English language novel of the 20th century. For our third cultural performance, we have taken the opening line of Ulysses and created a wonderful montage performed in 40 locations worldwide, including with Sereni here in Hong Kong. But before the video, let's hear from Sereni herself.
Hello, I'm Sereni. I'm a singer-songwriter in Hong Kong. Last year, I was very honored to be invited to read the opening lines for this amazing novel, Ulysses. This year marks the 100th year anniversary for its publication. This work has since tormented or transformed a lot of grad students around the world, and so much joy to read, and happy St. Patrick's Day. You can spend the whole day indoors reading this book again.
Stately.
Plump. Stately. Plump.
Buck.
Plump.
Stately.
Plump. Buck.
Mulligan.
Came from.
Mulligan.
Buck.
Plump.
Buck. Mulligan.
Came from the
Stairhead.
From the stairhead. From the
Stairhead. Plump. Buck.
Mulligan.
Plump. Buck. Mulligan. Bearing a
Bowl of.
Bearing.
A bowl.
Bowl of
Lather.
Bowl of
mulligan.
Bearing.
On which.
A
mirror.
Of lather on which.
A mirror. On which a mirror
Razor. And a razor.
lay crossed. Lay crossed. Lay
Stately.
Plump. Stately.
plump. Buck. Stately.
Plumpy.
Buck Mulligan came from the Mulligan. Buck Plump came from the stairhead.
From the stairhead.
From the stairhead. Buck Mulligan.
Bearing a bowl.
Bowl of lather.
Bearing a
A
bowl.
bowl of lava. Or
Mulligan.
bearing a bowl of lava.
Which a mirror. Which a
Mirror.
Which a mirror.
Mirror.
And a razor.
Lay crossed.
Ladder.
Mirror and a razor.
Stately.
Stately.
Plump.
Buck stately.
Buck.
Mulligan.
Mulligan.
Buck. Mulligan.
From the stairhead.
From the stairhead.
Came from the stairhead. A bowl.
Bearing.
Bowl of
Bowl of lather.
lava.
Mulligan.
On which.
Bowl of lather. And the razor.
Mirror. On which.
And a razor.
Lay cross.
And a razor. Razor. Lay.
Cross. Stately plump.
Buck Mulligan.
Came from the stairhead,
Bearing.
A bowl of lather.
on which
A mirror and a razor lay crossed.
This year marks 50 years since the referendum in Ireland and the signing of the accession treaty to join the European Union. Ireland plays a central role in Europe. We help to shape the EU through our input into economic and social policies. We use our EU membership to make a valuable contribution to world affairs. The Irish have an overwhelming positive image of our European Union membership, even more so since Brexit. Ireland is proud to be the largest English-speaking and common law country in the European Union. So in the year that is in it, I am so delighted to be joined by my European diplomatic colleagues here in Hong Kong and Macau to wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day in their own native languages.
Unseren irischen Freunden einen wunderbaren St. Patrickstag.
Ik wens al onze Ierse vrienden in Hongkong een vrolijk St. Patrick's Feest. Je souhaite à tous nos amis irlandais à Hongkong une joyeuse fête de Saint Patrick.
Všechno nejlepší ke dni svatého Patrika. Hyvää Pyhän Patrikin päivää, irlantilaiset ystävät.
En français, bonne fête de Saint-Patrick.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch zum Sankt Patrikstag.
Ευτυχισμένη μέρα του Αγίου Πατρικίου.
Kedves ír barátaink, boldog Szent Patrik napot kívánok!
Buon San Patrizio a tutti gli amici irlandesi.
Nederland wenst Ierland een gelukkig Sint-Patriciusdag.
Drodzy Irlandcy przyjaciele, wszystkiego najlepszego z okazji Dnia Świętego Patryka.
Feliz dia de São Patrício.
Doresc să felicit Irlanda cu ocazia Zilei Sfântului Patrick și să transmit poporului irlandez cele mai bune urări de prosperitate și bunăstare.
Feliz Día de San Patricio a nuestros amigos irlandeses en Hong Kong.
Jag vill önska er alla en riktigt trevlig St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to David and the whole team at the Irish Consulate General in Hong Kong from the EU office.
At this painful time for Hong Kong, I want to conclude with a tribute to the spirit of the people by remembering the music of Anita Mui. An outstanding singer, Anita helped create the glory years of cantopop in the 1980s and 1990s. But this daughter of Hong Kong used her star power for good during the SARS outbreak in 2003, despite struggling with deteriorating health, which would see her die that December just 40 years old. I'm so delighted to be joined by Jacqueline Leung on piano and Janice Ho on vocals for this tribute. I thank the staff and management of the wonderful Peninsula Hotel for this splendid panoramic setting of Victoria Harbour. Charitable work and social activism were important to Anita throughout her life, values that are important for Hong Kong now more than ever. As the sun sets on St. Patrick's Day in Hong Kong, let us conclude today's very different celebration with the music of Anita Mui and remember a former time when the spirit of the Hong Kong people prevailed.
早改變，處境都變。
院前，浩瀚煙波裏，我懷念往年，外貌早改變，處境都變，情懷未變。浩瀚煙波裏，我懷念往年，外貌早改變，處境